I was part of a team of Tibet supporters. Originally, we had some Tibetans on our team, but their visas were revoked. That were going to go to Beijing on August 8th and take out Tibetan flags and unfurl them over our shoulders and raise our fists in the air. If you've gone to freetibet2008.tv and seen a clip of the Team Tibet flag protest, what you won't see is what they did to us right afterwards. What you do see is you see them tackle us to the ground. I was the first one tackled, and I have a distinct suspicion that the reason that they tackled me is because I looked Tibetan. I tore up my foot pretty bad when one of the guards came up behind me and got me on the ground. Cesar, Jonathan, and I, we were yelling, "Free Tibet, what does the Chinese government have to hide? There's no free media in Tibet," that kind of thing. And I know Cesar got punched in the stomach, I got smacked in the mouth. And so they did do this for about half a kilometer, which seems like a really long time. And then next thing I know, they take us to a park, and they tell us to take off our shoes. I'm trying to say I'm injured. They take our shoes and they tie my arms behind my back, and they tie both Jonathan and Cesar's arms behind their backs as well. And I'm freaking out. I'm just like, what's going on? I've never heard of this happening to anyone before. And next thing I know, they kick, all I could see is they kick me and Cesar onto our knees, and they push our faces down, facing each other. And that's when I just flip out. That I was looking straight into Cesar's eyes, just like I'm doing right now with you. And in that moment, I never had so much concern for another human being. I just didn't want them to hurt my friend. They were pressing his face to the ground. They were pressing my face to the ground. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just tried my best to communicate non-verbally, through my eyes, that it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And they pull our shirts over our faces to cover our faces for whatever reason, I wasn't sure. And it was just scary. Then they tied our upper arms with their belts. My friend Jonathan was complaining that he wasn't feeling his hands. And I said, my friend is being hurt. You're hurting him. You're hurting him. They just didn't get it. And I got smacked in the head. All they were saying was, "Shut up, shut up." And it was just insane. And I just remember seriously smelling fear and tasting the grit of the floor that they just pushed us into. Thankfully, the shirts that we had on were pretty transparent, and I could tell that they were behind us taking pictures like we were some kind of trophy for them. It was both enraging and humiliating. I mean, I had my shirt over my head. They were laughing. They were taking pictures. Then they made us sit down again, and we tried to check in with each other just to see if everyone was okay. So far we were okay. And then they had us sit down. I was just trying to survey what was going on, and I felt someone sit down on my back as I was sitting, and it hurt. And I told them, that hurts, and they smacked me upside the head again with their gloved hand. They had our faces on the ground, and I was pretty sure that we were gonna have a bullet in our head. I just went back this past few years and saw happy moments in my life and was able to extract myself from what was going on, because if I looked into Cesar's eyes for a second longer, I would have broke. The look of fear yet determination on his face, I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. And hearing Jonathan trying to see if the rest of us are okay, like I've never understood solidarity more strongly and more clearly until that moment. This is what a bunch of Chinese soldiers and policemen did during the Olympics when the whole world was watching. What more in Tibet when no one is watching, when there's no media freedom, when there's no access to what is going on inside? In the end, things ended up okay. But I do believe that we left there a little bit scarred, but it's scar tissue that I think we could be proud of, because it brings us this much closer to understanding what we are fighting for and what we need to continue to fight for. And that's independence for Tibet and Chinese rule to end now.